Podcasting from my studio in the Brooklyn location. This is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. Hey everyone, thank you for joining me this evening. Well, it's evening when I'm recording this podcast, but whenever you choose to listen to me, join me, morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, late at night, it doesn't matter. I appreciate the likes, the looks, the listens, but of course, I'll appreciate you hitting that subscribe notification bell on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. Of course, do that with no pressure, though I would like the algorithm to swing in my favor. The revolution will not be televised.
The revolution will not be televised.
This song, this iconic American song, was dropped in 1971 by Gil Scott-Heron. This song was hot because it came out in a time when it was hot, when things were flared. Things were flared, and a lot of people, in communities of color, African-American people, black people, they were ignited with a lot of things, injustices. Well, as iconic that song was, and, it's been heavily commercialized, but the lyrics and the passion behind it still holds true for all these decades later. When you look at it, that term, the revolution will not be televised. Revolution, to revolt, to go against. Go against what? An established order that doesn't really benefit everybody involved. Revolution will not be televised. Televised, meaning, of course, the airwaves. Who's controlling the airwaves and the television? Okay, glad you asked. Now we're getting a little bit further. You see, it will not be televised because mainstream media basically is what is being televised and pushed to us. It could be in the form of the news. It could be in the form of even social media channels and outlets and individuals. It's from politicians. Whatever is being fed through us, to us, by controlled conglomerates of media. That is the televised part. Well, because of the fact that many people who control these things now wish basically to secure our attention so that we can give our focus, our energy, our monies towards whatever it is that they want to do. That said, you can either do it by force or you could do it by easing it in and sugarcoating things. How do we do that? Just give people what they want. Because if you push hard, a lot of people are going to push back. You really want people to do things, force them to get your way, and you're not being diplomatic really about it, well, then if you're not going to force it, you're going to kind of sugarcoat it. You're going to make it look nice. You're going to dress it up in a way where people feel comfortable around it, to accept it. The whole thing with the revolution, again, is not being part of what's the established, normalized mindset. Right now, we have more than television now. We have a lot of social media outlets, a lot of streaming platforms and everything, what have you. You're still politicians. There's still a lot of other platforms that are more legacy or more classic, old-fashioned type things. But a lot of the hashtags, look at all the hashtags that's going on right now. That is the televised part. That's a televised part that's basically, you could say, orchestrated. That's the part where people just feel like, okay, that's what's being fed to us, and it's done in a way where we feel impacted and they're tugging on our heartstrings because we want to be involved with something that seems right. We want to do our part, right? So hashtag this, hashtag that, do your part with a lot of things that, currently in the past, where people just want to feel like they're a part of a movement, but you're not really sacrificing anything with that. You're not really coming out of the mindset. You're still following the crowd, basically. It's good to think of good things, and a lot of things are, you could say, good, but at the same time, what exactly is being accomplished by you watching these things or buying a t-shirt or donating money to a certain thing when everyone else is doing it? The televised part means that the conglomerates are controlled and using certain avenues to get our minds to go in a certain way. Said it many times in the past, entertainment basically means to capture you and hold you, pull you in and hold you there, to contain you, contain our minds and our focus. As we have our minds are focused on certain things, we're going to put our money, we're going to put our attention on those certain things. See, the televised part is not going to be something that many people think is popular. It's not going to be on someone's mindset that's going to be positive, unfortunately, because a lot of people don't look at the whole picture. A lot of people really just take in what they want. They go with the crowd, what's popular. They don't want to step on toes. They don't want to look too much out of in sync of everyone else. Even though people want to say they're an individual, they think for themselves, but so much people think the same way and go the same way, because if people were really about a revolutionary mindset, all these ill wills and things that's happening in the world wouldn't be happening. How about we think about that? It's all about, the real revolution is against things that want to control. When you want to control a certain people or person, what do? You withhold knowledge and information. When you want to control a certain people or peoples, what do? You withhold access to certain resources. What do you do when you want to control people? You withhold access to freedoms and luxuries. This is how you get people to do it. Either all of the above is done. It just depends on how and when it's done, but it's all done in that way. The most devastating one is withholding of knowledge of what's going on right now, what the true story is. All these hashtags, that's what we're seeing. This is just a very small piece of what's going on, and chances are it's not even the real deal of what's going on. We have to be more educated, and we have to be more aware of what's really going on. If this is what they're telling us, I want to see what else is not being shown. I see this one screen that's being in front of me all the time. I want to look around the other world, other parts of the world, other screens and other documentations and resources to find out what's really going on. Because revolution is not going to be spoon-fed to you, because once you have a mind where you're like, you want to get out of the regular rigmarole of being controlled, of the regular state of mind of being led down a certain path, then it's not a revolutionary mind. Once you get past that now, when you want to see what the real deal is, when you want to find out more of the knowledge that's been withheld from you, when you want to make sure to see why are these certain resources withheld, is it what I'm being told, is it true? If I'm having freedoms and liberties being taken from me, I want to find out why when I clearly see that it's wrong. Then you start to go on that mindset right there and be willing to go down that road and change your mindset to get out of what it is that's keeping everything going the way it is. When you want to look past just getting past your 9 to 5 just to make sure you got food for your family, yourself, you're willing to go past that, because many people, they're good enough with that. They know things are wrong. They want something to be done, but they're not willing to go past that. They just like, you know what, it's too much to think about. I'm just going to just go worry about my bills and my people and go watch Housewives of Atlanta or whatever. When that song was made in 1971, many people had no idea that it would still hold weight today, because what's being televised to us, no matter how good we may think we're doing a good deed or how good we think we may feel of hashtag this, support this, and whatever the case is, and do your part, that's not revolutionary, man. We have to look at what's not being commercialized in our faces. Because again, like I said, revolutionary mindset has to come from a sovereign foundation. For me, what I understand, that sovereign foundation is the kingdom of Elohim, because it supersedes all of this foolishness right here, and it works for everyone's benefit, whether they believe it or not. It's up to you. But I know it benefits every single man, woman, and child. Not religion. Don't get me twisted. Creator made order, and the order is needed to follow. This commercialized, popular way of thinking that's being spoon-fed to us, it destroys and distorts the order for all of us to live in the best version that we possibly can for everyone. Revolution is not televised because it was televised. That means someone's making money from it or getting some kind of gain from it at the expense of other people. Revolution, of course, is going to be against that, where it's going to be for everyone to eat at the table. Well, anyways, that's all I got. You want to check out more of my content, you could go to my website at www.brooklynbaritone.com. You could also find more of my content on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. You can find me on LinkedIn under Corey Ashley. I also am found on Instagram and on Facebook You can get the audio versions of these podcasts on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music Under Podcast, and other various podcast platforms. I air on local Brooklyn cable television. I'm televised 4 times a week, 12 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Verizon, Optimum, RCN, and Spectrum. Thank you guys for listening. I want you guys to just revolutionize your mind and get out of the whole... whatever. You know what I mean. Anyways, you hear from next week. Walk good. Be blessed. I'm out.